President Stivers, is medical marijuana going to be on the table this year in the Senate? It passed the House easily last year.
Well, it hasn't passed the House yet this year.
So with that, Mr. President, and I say to anybody here who wants to listen, who wants to come in and deliver the studies, to have the arguments, I'm not opposed to something that has medicinal or therapeutic value. We can regulate it, we can move it, we can control it like we have on any other drug. I know as well people who are in my area, and as the senator from Jefferson 38 has said, he knows people too that they have felt better after somehow ingesting marijuana after chemo or radiation treatments. I've had many family members too that have gone through things like that who have told me the same thing. But where is the study?
For medicinal, all I've asked for is show me the tier 3 studies where there's control groups that say there is medicinal or therapeutic value to the use of marijuana. And I find out, and I think it really needs to be studied, because the studies that are out there will tell you carcinogens in marijuana are 150% greater than that which is in tobacco. An ophthalmologist called me and said, we have drugs that are better for glaucoma and reducing the pressure and don't have the half-life as much as marijuana, and much cheaper. But if there is something for nausea that we can come with, something that has been done by Mayo, MD Anderson, the FDA, New England Journal of Medicine, print us a study, show us where it comes down. And as we were with the cannabinoids a few years ago, we can regulate it, we can control it, and for medicinal use, we'll be all for it.
Senator Stivers.
Well, I've always been of the opinion that I'm neither for or against medical marijuana. Somebody needs to prove to me it has medicinal and therapeutic value. And for years, I asked for studies, and no one would deliver those studies.
What would make you change your mind to maybe open up?
The studies that I was, and actually they made me sign for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mr. Montalvo, Jaime Montalvo delivered them. Here they are. And I read them all, and I have them all here. And I've read them, and I have the conclusions. And virtually every one of them that I've read, and I've got them highlighted, say more study is needed because the sample sizes were too small,
Sure.
The period of times were too short, and there are some serious known side effects such as psychotraumas, things of that nature, from prolonged use of marijuana. So I want to know, is it worthwhile, the benefits versus the risk, to legalize marijuana as a medicinal or therapeutic type of drug?
Well, this is a situation that I've consistently said my opinion would be based on somebody giving me a series of studies that show that marijuana has medicinal or therapeutic values. For years, I've asked for those studies. I was delivered 27 documents which were purported to be studies. Some of them were really summaries of what was going on within the research. But virtually every summary I read said that they were not statistically significant samples, the time periods were not long enough, that there was potential, some things not statistically significant, but indicators that there is a possibility for use of marijuana in the realm of spasticity for people who have multiple sclerosis, or nausea reduction for individuals taking chemotherapy.
Anything else before we move on and talk about medical cannabis, because I know you want to, Senator Stivers. 90% of all Kentuckians support medical cannabis for sick people if their doctor recommends it. Senator Stivers, are you persuaded yet?
I've read all the studies that were delivered to me. I have no doubt there are some therapeutic and medicinal values, but there's not been enough study done when we also know that increased exposure is bad for brain development for young people, where we know there's 50% more carcinogens if you smoke it versus cigarettes, and prolonged exposure creates a higher likelihood of psychotic events. No drug is good for you. It's just balancing
does it do more good than harm for what your underlying medical problem is?
This comment from Michelle Crawford, who I think you all know, who's been in Frankfurt a lot on this issue from Mason County. She says, quote, medical cannabis passed with over 2/3 of the vote in the House last session. Why won't Senator Stivers let the bill come up for an up or down vote in the Senate?
Well, I think I've been pretty clear that I truly believe that there is some medicinal or therapeutic value to THC, and that's what we're talking about. I was delivered for years, I would say, give me the studies, and I would show you all the studies that were delivered to me, and none. So about 2 years ago, they delivered those studies, and I read them, every one. And the terminology, statistically significant, is what they talk about in their studies, and there are statistically significant indicators to what I said for spasticity, nausea, appetite, those things, and the realm of joint inflammation.
This is the choice we have in Kentucky, to leave either our family, our churches, our careers, to leave a life I've known for 35 years.